Lunch Break Episode 1. Would you take care of RFK Jr. with measles? Welcome to Lunch Break for Nurses. We know you seldom get real lunch breaks, so enjoy these few minutes of nourishment for your brain and contemplate these dilemmas that are not talked about out loud. On point today, should nurses be forced to provide hands-on care to patients with airborne or droplet-transmitted diseases when those patients have explicitly declined vaccination? My answer right now is, hello, no. Let's break it down. Picture this. RFK Jr., an otherwise healthy male, rolls into your ER in respiratory failure from measles pneumonia. He's unvaccinated by choice. He's coughing measles virus all over the negative pressure room that doesn't actually work half the time because it was built in 1970. You, the nurse, are 28 weeks pregnant, or you're on active chemotherapy, or you're one of the 5–8% of adults whose second MMR dose never took, and you have no antibodies. Now, will PPE keep you safe? No. Let's talk about the hierarchy of controls. The hierarchy of controls was developed by the military in the 1940s in response to safety events during World War II. NIOSH adopted it in 2007 and applied it to workplace safety. A hierarchy implies a preference for the items in a top-down order for the most effective control of the hazard or risk. Over time, we have learned the control of any hazard is best achieved by layering these levels. So let's look at measles. It is very contagious with an R0 of 12 to 18. That means one person spreads it to 12 to 18 susceptible people. It transmits easily through the air. With an R0 of 12 to 18, a measles outbreak could quickly overwhelm a hospital if the cases are severe. Now the hierarchy. The most effective level is to eliminate the hazard. We have vaccines that can accomplish this. If people were vaccinated, sporadic measles cases would not spread. To control measles, 95% of the population needs to be immune. For engineering controls, we have negative pressure rooms that have air exchanges and special exhaust. We know we need a mask that filters air like an N95 mask or a respirator. These are usually protective for the nurse, but things can go wrong. The airborne isolation room can malfunction. An N95 requires fit testing every year, but sometimes your face can change, or you grow a beard, and air can get in without you knowing. You are trained by your infection preventionists on how to reduce your chance of infection. But now, you are super busy and distracted and ordered to provide hourly nebulizers, suctioning, and mouth care to someone whose entirely preventable disease can kill you or your unborn child. Nothing in the hierarchy is 100% safe. If a patient can say, "I do not consent to the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine because it violates my body," then a nurse should be able to say, "I do not consent to having measles virus coughed into my face because that violates my body." Does the principle of non-maleficence cut both ways? Should rescue teams risk their lives to save people who ignore evacuation orders during hurricanes? If there is a high probability of serious injury or loss of life to the rescuers, it is highly unlikely the commander will put the crew in jeopardy. Why doesn't the same apply to nurses? What might actually work? Refusal of vaccine surcharge or separate ward. For people who refuse measles vaccine, then get the measles. Maybe they can go to a more expensive environment, built with extra airflow and filters, staffed only by immune nurses who opt in for hazard pay or are anti-vaccine themselves. And let's eliminate the building codes that say a space has to only conform to the standards at the time it was built. No. We want the safest current standards to apply. Negative pressure rooms, no matter when built, need to meet current codes. Legislation. 8 states already have healthcare worker refusal laws for abortion procedures. Copy-paste that framework in the reverse for this. Call it the Healthcare Worker Bodily Autonomy Act. What about those that say nurses take an oath? No oath says, "And thou shalt die of measles," for someone else's meme-based beliefs. In New Zealand, a nurse got whooping cough, aka pertussis, from an adult patient and passed it to her newborn. who died. Hey, I agree. People need care, despite their bad choices, and I'll gladly push the button to send in the immune robot nurse to care for anti-vaxxers with communicable diseases when Boston Dynamics creates it. Here's the bottom line. Nurses are not disposable martyrs. We draw blood, we start IVs, we clean up feces, we absorb verbal abuse, we work short, fine. But we do not owe you our lives because you fell for a TikTok meme or heard voices telling you that vaccines are evil because they contain microchips. Science shows that vaccines are a miracle of modern medicine, and if that belief makes me a bad nurse, then fire me. You've been listening to Lunch Break. Drop a comment on this video to let us know your thoughts on this controversial topic. And don't forget to subscribe. We actually care about you.